child marriage in Islam? Is this an Islamic practice or is this something people made up? And also they try to focus the question on, did Prophet Muhammad do a child marriage, and then does that therefore make him a pederast? And so the woman in question is Ayesha, the daughter of Abu Bakr, from the Bani Taym tribe. And did he marry her at 6 and then consummate the marriage at 9? Short answer is, it appears not if you study history. And we can tell that because we look at records. Her father became Muslim, and her father was one of the first Muslims, and sometimes credited with being the first Muslim. In the history books that we read, she was already alive, because they say that she became Muslim with her father. And you don't become a Muslim if you're an infant, and you also don't become a Muslim if you're not alive. So if she became Muslim with her father, and then she did not get married until after Prophet Muhammad was in Medina. She did not reach Medina until 13 years later. It doesn't really appear that she actually got married at 9 or 6. When you look at the story with a little more detail, she was already married before she married Prophet Muhammad, and the man divorced her, punished her father, and that was something that people did at the time. Ayesha was also roughly the same age as Prophet Muhammad's daughter Fatima, about the time the Prophet's mission started in Mecca, and she also got married to Ali in Medina some 13, 14 years later. So that was roughly the age they were getting. Still young for modern American standards, but not at all young, actually a little bit old for the standards that they had at the time. The enemies of the Prophet criticized him for everything, but they didn't criticize him for that because that was just perfectly normal. So it wasn't really odd for Semitic people to get married at really early ages. For example, how old was Mary when she got married? She married Joseph. She was like 12, 13. Rebecca married Isaac. She's something like 10. The Europeans knew about Islam and knew about Islamic marriage laws, and they criticized Muslims for everything, but they never really bothered criticizing them for the Islamic marriage laws because they got married at really early ages. That was our culture up until recently. They thought that you could get married pretty much, 9, 10, stuff like that. And they thought you were harming a family if you had sex with the girl and then didn't marry her. So you slept with her and then you ran off, and now she couldn't work and she could never marry anybody else. So that was the worst thing in the world because you had ruined this poor girl's life, and what did she ever do to you? So then they'd go get their shotguns or whatever and round you up and force you to marry the girl. But they didn't have a problem with the relationship, they had the problem with you running off. Well, what are the Islamic ages? Remember, what is the actual rule? The actual rule is that Islam always, if you read the Quran, they always talk about marrying women. So when did people consider them women? They considered a man once he reached sexual maturity, and a woman once she reached sexual maturity. So that's when she had her period. And different parts of the world vary, different families vary. But in some places, they can have girls can reach sexual maturity really early, 9 years old, 10 years old, 11 years old. Some places they reach it a little bit later, but they held you legally responsible for everything you did. And the actual rule is this: you can marry somebody at any age, but you can't consummate the marriage until the person is physically mature and also mentally mature, because they have to agree to the marriage. And so when does that happen? That's sort of a judgment call. Person seems like they know what they're doing and they know what's in their own best interest, and they can say, yeah, Dad, I agree to the marriage, or they can say, no, you know what, I don't think I like this guy.